I'm no tiger, but I could cry right now. I'm Mark Matsumoto, and today I'm going to show you my favorite way to do steak in summer. It's called crying tiger beef, and it's served with a spicy Thai dipping sauce called Nam Jim Jaew. It's easy and addictively good, so let's check out our ingredients. For the steak, I'm using a 1-inch thick Wagyu sirloin today because I felt like being a little extra. But usually I use a cheaper cut like hanger steak or skirt steak. For the marinade, I've got 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of fish sauce, 8 grams of ginger, and 8 grams of garlic. For the dipping sauce, I've got a tablespoon of glutinous rice, 3 tablespoons of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 1 tablespoon of tamarind paste, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of toasted Thai chili flakes, 16 grams of shallots, 10 grams of scallions, and a handful of cilantro. To prepare the marinade, I'm gonna grate the garlic into a bowl. Then I'm gonna grate in an equal amount of ginger. Ginger isn't a traditional part of this marinade, but I like adding it because it contains a proteolytic enzyme called zingiberine that's gonna tenderize our steak. Now I'm gonna add the fish sauce and oyster sauce and give this a stir. Okay, let's spread this all over both sides of the steak and rub it in. Ideally, you want to give this a few hours for the marinade to do its thing, but if you're in a rush, letting it marinate for 30 minutes is better than nothing. While we wait for that to marinate, let's prep the ingredients for our spicy Thai steak sauce. The first thing I'm gonna do is toast the glutinous rice in a hot skillet until it's golden brown. Once the pan is nice and hot, you want to keep the rice moving around the pan so it browns evenly. You can do this by shaking the pan back and forth, or if you're feeling daring, you can toss it like this. The pan gets insanely hot when you're dry roasting like this, so you should never do this in a pan with non-stick coating. As the rice roasts, it's gonna start smelling like rice crackers, and this is a key flavor of the sauce, so don't be shy about getting it brown. Okay, this is looking perfect, so let's get it off the stove, and I'm gonna dump this into a stone mortar. Then I'm gonna use a pestle to grind this into a coarse powder. You can also do this with a spice grinder or food processor, but just be careful not to overdo it because you want the little crunchy bits. Okay, this is looking perfect. Okay, let's prep our herbs and aromatics, and I'm gonna start by mincing up our shallots. Shallots are a member of the allium genus, so my method for cutting onions works here, and I'll add a link to that video in the description if you want to check it out. This is a rustic sauce, so there's no need to be precise, but if you end up with any big pieces of shallots, just go back over it with your knife like this. Next, I'm gonna chop up some scallions. You might be wondering if this is redundant with the shallots, but they have a different onion flavor, and I like adding both. Finally, I'm gonna chop up some cilantro. This is optional, and I also really love making this sauce with mint. Okay, our prep's done, so let's grill up our steak. I have a grill pan that's been preheating over medium heat, and I'm gonna add the steak diagonally like this. The key here is to have the pan hot, but not crazy hot, or your steak's gonna burn before it's cooked through. I've also let the meat come up to room temperature for about 30 minutes, so the meat's gonna cook through faster. After about a minute and a half, check and see if you've got grill marks. And if it's looking like this, turn it from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the pan. Now we just need to let this cook for another minute. While we wait for that to brown, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for supporting my channel by watching and liking my videos. If you've learned something new from this recipe and you want to help me out, head over to marksrecipes.com where you can subscribe to my secret stash of original recipes. I've got a bunch of other refreshing summer dishes like my tuna mint ceviche noodles or my tomato miso soup, and your membership helps to support this channel. All right, let's see if our steak's ready to make a tiger cry. Beautiful, isn't it? Be sure to press down on any parts of the steak that are curling up so you get a nice even set of grill marks. Now we just need to wait for the grill marks on this side, which will take about another minute and a half. Then I'm gonna turn this back to the 10 o'clock position and let the steak continue cooking. By the way, if you notice your steak is browning too fast, just lower the heat to keep it under control. Okay, I'm going for medium rare with this, and it's been grilling for a little over 5 minutes, so let's get it out of the pan and onto our cutting board to rest for about 5 minutes. Let's prep our Nam Jim Jaew. Add the fish sauce to a bowl. Then I'm gonna cut our lime in half. Next, I'm gonna squeeze about 2 tablespoons of lime juice. If you've got a juicy one, half a lime should be enough. Let's measure 2 tablespoons of lime juice into the fish sauce. And then I'm gonna add the tamarind paste. Add in the sugar and chili flakes. And then I'm gonna measure in 2 teaspoons of our toasted rice powder. Be sure to hang on to the rest of this for later. Now we're gonna add the shallots, scallions, and cilantro. Mix this up and you should end up with a nice thick sauce like this. Okay, let's check on our crying tiger beef. The juices have had a chance to redistribute, so let's slice this up. Oh man, it's taken every ounce of self-restraint not to pop one of these in my mouth. Now that the steak is sliced up, I'm gonna hit it with some freshly ground white pepper. I prefer doing this after I grill the steak so the pepper doesn't burn. Then we're gonna go in with some of that toasted rice powder to give this steak an extra pop of texture and flavor. Alright, let's get this onto our plate. And then I'm gonna add some refreshing veggies like cabbage and cucumber to go with our rich meat. Okay, let's pour our spicy dipping sauce into a small bowl. And our crying tiger beef with Nam Jim Jaew is ready to eat. Okay, the kitchen smells mouth-wateringly good and I'm starving, so let's try this out. All right, I'm gonna grab a piece of the beef here, our crying tiger beef, and we're gonna give it a dip in the spicy Thai steak sauce. Mmm! The steak is juicy, flavorful, and tender. You've got the flavor of the garlic and ginger in the beef with that white pepper that we added at the end. And when you dip it in the sauce, it's tangy, sweet, and savory with a nice spicy kick. And it just takes the level of umami up to 11. All right, let's try this sauce with a little piece of cucumber. I mean, I don't think it even needs the beef to be flavorful. Look at that. Okay, so I was wrong. This isn't a steak sauce. This is a dip everything sauce. I mean, I could go take my boot from downstairs and dip it in here and it would taste good. Well, I'm gonna have the rest of this with a batch of sticky rice I'm steaming, but check out this playlist for more easy Asian favorites. And I'll catch you in the next one.